Then if you bring the goons, because I was told some of the leaders in Nairobi were hiring motorcycles to take goons to various parts, including Ongata Rongai, for purposes of disrupting and making it look like the GNCs are very violent people. It's not a Kenyan. It's not Muturi, Justin Muturi, the former Attorney General. It's not Kirwa. It is a third party, a non-Kenyan, and it is a non-state actor, now informing the president that he lied to the public.
Welcome to Richard Mwenja Exclusive, the only show that gives you the international supply of wisdom on matters political and governance analysis. My name is Richard Mwenja. Welcome to the conversation. Today, as usual, I have your favorite think tank, none other than former Minister Ruto Arab Kirwa. How are you doing today, sir?
Very well, I thank God. At least the challenge I had last week seems to be subsiding.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Good.
I thank God for that. Yeah.
You're back to your usual trademark kaundas.
Yeah, once
Have you
in a while.
forgotten that the devil wears kaunda? That was the chant by the Genzs.
Yeah, but you see, today there's no maandamano or protest.
So you are less a devil today?
Yes, tomorrow I will just be in a normal suit. Yes.
All right, that of the way. And how about we advance conversations about this struggle by the Genzs, the ideas they believe in? And let me rope in the sentiments of none other than South Mugirango Member of Parliament, that is Bwana Silvanus Osoro. He commented this about the Genzs the other day. Mnapewa space sana hadi mnadhani you are the only ones who live in Kenya. You selectively read the Constitution of Kenya, the part that favors you, and deliberately ignore one that fits your nemesis and expect to be taken seriously. Keep your card until 2027. Here katikati ni drama festival. That is Silvanus Osoro dismissing what Gen Zs are taking to the streets as bear circus drama festival. What are your thoughts on that?
You know, that is where the trouble starts. Because you see the GNC, apart from the raft of issues under Chapter 6, they were very clear that leaders have displayed a high level of arrogance, dismissive attitude, and at times so much condescending on those who may not agree with them. I would have expected
Silvanus Osoro,
Silvanus Osoro to be more modest about it. Because the issues they have focused on are issues of integrity, issues of moral probity, prudence in terms of management of resources, and adherence to the Constitution, and other issues also of unemployment and inclusivity. Those are issues that we ourselves gave to the nation and future generations, the Constitution 2010. And I would expect Osoro to read that section very well. They have not said that the president never go through an election properly. They are interested whether the president is Ruto or any other person. They are interested in those issues. And I think it's something very useful, because that is how we can improve the general morality in society. So Osoro is bringing a political solution to a moral issue, because the issue is not about politics. It's about what the government of the day ought to do and how they need to approach issues. And I'm telling you, it is the display of arrogance that has made almost every other Kenyan get annoyed. Even when I'm with some people old enough to be their grandparents, to the GNCs, or even their parents to the GNCs, they seem to resonate with what they are talking about. So let's not dismiss issues. They are Kenyans just like you and I. Yeah.
So from your lenses, the tone of Silvanus Osoro and that of several others allied to Kenya Kwanza who are talking down on the Genzs can only but fan the fire and the rage within the Gen Z souls and hearts.
Yeah, that precisely so, because you saw even yesterday, I was told Kisii was no-go zone. There was a huge demonstration or protest, and Osoro comes from Kisii. You should realize that this is serious issue that will go to the fundamentals of democracy here in Kenya, just like other countries of the world that have all also faced similar situations. Remember, some of the governments have been overthrown because of bread, the price of bread only. the late president of Zambia, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, suffered that fate because the cost of living was too high. And of course, he was saying he had overstayed in office. So at times, it is not about big things. It's the small things and how you handle that determines the reaction of those who feel aggrieved by your behavior or by your deeds, and also by how you engage the rest of society.
Rightly put.
Yeah.
This far, we have seen the Gen Z revolution being hijacked by a section of the political class, just in a bid to settle political scores. And you also seen some non-state actors also capitalizing on it for their own interest. Would you then be part of those who are advising the Gen Z to now exit the stage when the clap is loudest? Because now we are seeing the demonstration being turned into chaotic ones, more of goons taken into the streets than the real Gen Zs who were initially there. Would you advise them to exit the stage at this point?
No, I would actually be more concerned about who are these individuals. If it is state-sponsored goons, then we need to call out on the state. Because you see, at the end of the day, if you create goons so that you blame on GNCs who are demonstrating with just a bottle of water, a phone, and some bundles, basic for that particular demonstration, then if you bring the goons, because I was told some of the leaders in Nairobi were hiring motorcycles to take goons to various parts, including Ongata Rongai, for purposes of disrupting and making it look like the GNCs are very violent people.
The same, let me cut you short, the same was accused of Uasin Gishu Governor Jonathan B. and also his counterpart from Kericho, arming a section of the electorate to come in the way of the Gen Z peaceful protest. They were there bearing rungus on the streets. Did you see that?
I saw that. In fact, for Uasin Gishu, I saw. I did not see for Kericho. I saw for Uasin Gishu, and you could see this is a group that has been set up to scare the people and also cause a bit of tribal animosity. This is something that is really old-fashioned, and that's not how to deal with people. The best thing is to allow people to vent their frustrations, talk to them, and the president has started addressing some of the issues. What we should be doing is to give the president time to deal with those issues, and in the process, see how much he can manage. But creating this confusion, we are likely to put this country to war.
I'm then curious to understand, why would Governor Jonathan B. sit back pretty and allow the goons to hijack the Gen Z demonstrators in Uasin Gishu County?
You know Jonathan B., my good nephew.
Oh, really?
Yes, as one challenge. He wants to prove that he's part of this regime more than the setters of the regime itself. Because I know in the last election, he was about to miss his ticket.
He's not an integral element of
He's
Kenya
not.
Kwanza's political
He's not. You know,
DNA?
he was in Kano far too long. He ran against Ruto in Eldoret North constituency, and subsequent, he has not been forgiven 100% by Ruto. So the issue is simple. He's behaving like a neighbor who is weeping more than the bereaved. That's the main problem. And I would want to advise him that whatever you do, this regime, by 2027, you might have to part ways. And I'm not in government, so I will not be anywhere to assist him.
So Jonathan B. ni mwombelezaji anayelia kushinda mjane.
Ya kushinda mjane, na hatujui labda yeye anataka mjane. Hatujui.
Very funny coming from you. Let's advance this conversation. And sticking to the Gen Z, there are those who believe that what informs the idea is they want to put to an end the betrayal by those who have bequeathed this nation, people of your generation, that for them they're speaking into accountability issues, they're speaking into better governance issues. Why would then a section of the political class be quick to think this is a political problem, yet it is more of a governance problem?
You know, they have solved those problems in the past politically. You remember in 1964, KADU, a whole political party in the opposition, crossed over to the government. And that spiraled other events, including making Kenya a de facto one-party state, and eventually de jure by amending Section 2A of the Constitution to make it a de jure one-party state. Of course, it had to take agitation for that position to be reversed in 1991. And immediately after 92 elections, what happened? President Moi was trying to take an onslaught on the opposition. He succeeded to a certain extent in Western Kenya by taking away most of the members that were in Ford Asli. But in Central Kenya, they lost miserably in Murang'a. They also lost miserably in South Nyanza, where the former member of parliament, I think for either Nyatika or Ndhiwa, Tom Obondo, defected to Kanu, but he lost in the by-election. And in Kipipiri, the former governor of Nairobi, Steve Mwangi, they were calling him Magic Mwangi, defected, and the by-election that took place, I remember the headline in one of the papers, it was Taifa Leo, Kanu yaonja pilipili Kipipiri, where Kanu lost miserably.
Very sarcastic. Huh?
Yeah, so some of these things means either we in Kenya have not accepted that there are more than one party. We don't believe in the opposition. We want to go to government, and when we don't get there, we go through the back door back to government. Yeah, because it has happened. There is no election, and I fear there may be another handshake or grand coalition again in the offing.
Under the ban of the need to create a broad-based government?
Yeah, that broad-based is actually is a grand coalition. Because how do you do it? And I would actually recommend to the president, he can get people from the entire country, because he knows these people, and appoint them as ministers. And if he wants advice from the opposition, he can be meeting them from time to time. Otherwise, taking opposition to government, for me, is very murky. It doesn't tell us how we can grow democratically. We cannot mature our democracy through taking opposition to government.
It's more of emasculation of
emasculation of the opposition, which he has done sufficiently, because he took away UDM, he took away Jubilee, and all the independent candidates, they are already with him in voting for him. I'm sure most of them voted yes. So these are some of the problems that we create. You can see those MPs are not going home comfortably. It is in few places where the president still got a lot of support, that those who voted yes are free to be in their constituencies. But in a number of places, they fear going back home.
Rightly put.
So these are some of the things we are not allowing democracy to mature. Sure. That's my worry.
Okay.
Yeah.
This far, we have seen President William Ruto still maintain a hard stance when it comes to believing the Gen Z protests are organic. And we've seen him take the blame at the doorstep of Ford Foundation, a non-governmental organization for that matter. How do you weigh this accusation coming from the president that Ford Foundation is behind financing of these protests from the Gen Z?
Well, the president has access to more information than I. But what I know, for the last 65 years, Ford Foundation has not been financing anarchy. What they have been doing is to finance programs that make people aware of the issues of the day. And if they have been taking some individuals through the constitution and telling them this is where we can fight impunity, so be it. I would do the same if I had money, to take people through the constitution and tell them the way to avoid impunity, we must ask of the leadership of the day 1, 2, 3. Right from integrity, moral probity, and also financial prudence in the management of our resources.
Sure.
Those are some of the things we need to, but I don't know. You see, Ford Foundation has very good support from the American government. So he's actually fighting what do you call it? The hand that feeds him. He was in America the other day. He came back with what they were calling goodies.
Basket of goodies.
Yeah, basket of goodies. Those goodies now are going to evaporate because Americans are very sensitive about their issues. I'm sure if they have not answered him, they will answer him soon.
Actually, Ford Foundation made a statement and he dismissed the claims from President Ruto, saying for them, they're impartial in the programs they partake in Kenya, they're non-political. And it begs the question, so this means we are leaving a bad image in the face of the international community by accusing some of world's top non-governmental organizations. And could that see something stumbling our development agenda?
It is principally that, because I would have expected the Minister for Foreign Affairs to give him a brief, before he makes that particular statement. I don't know who informs him, and it does not also inform him of the repercussions that will arise. Because, they are lowering his credibility. By them now issuing that statement, the trust on the president goes down among Kenyans, because that's a third party. It's not a Kenyan. It's not Muturi, Justin Muturi, the former Attorney General. It's not Kirwa. It is a third party, a non-Kenyan, and it is a non-state actor now informing the president that he lied to the public. And it doesn't show a good image for a head of state, because head of state is taken that by the time he says anything, he has cross-checked with all the arms of government, and cross-checked with NIS, and cross-checked with Monica Juma. And I don't know whether she's still there or she's been sacked, and also cross-checked with the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Factual reporting.
Factual reporting. Because the president, nobody in Kenya can access more information than the president. He knows the truth better than us. So for him to have said that, I think it was he misadvised himself. Yeah.
Lastly, before we cross over to Heroes Corner with Crypto Arab Kirwa, initially, when you were seeing the Azimio protest kicking in right after the general elections of 2022,
Yes.
the blame was taken to the doorstep of the Kenyatta's family, saying they were fueling the protest and financing it. Right now, we are seeing more of the blame going to non-state actors. Ford Foundation, former CJ William Tunge is now being accused as someone who is working at the behest of these NGOs who want to bring down Ruto's presidency. Boniface Mwangi. So does that point to the direction that Ruto's regime is so quick to find a scapegoats whenever they're in a mess, or to find someone to blame?
Ruto's growth in politics, he has always externalized the challenges he faces. Externalizing in the sense that at some stage, it was convenient when I was Minister for Agriculture to say Kirwa is responsible for even fertilizer scandals, which they were not there in the first place. In 2007, he blamed it on Kibaki. And that's why they were saying 41 against 1. And in 2013, it was a referendum against the Hague. Then immediately started blaming Uhuru after winning the 2013 election. Perhaps by starting by saying, I'm the one who runs this government. The other guy is very busy doing other things.
A ceremonial figure.
Yes, and it was to a crowd of 5,000 people in his home, saying it. NIS, if you hide from NIS and you are talking to 5,000 people, how many special branch officers are there? Then after that, 2018 election, he blamed it on Uhuru. Then now he blamed it on Raila, the handshake. And today, I'm told he's looking for Raila. So he has always had somebody to blame. But now that he's at the apex, he has to blame other people. He blamed Uhuru. He blamed the other people. Now he's blaming Ford Foundation. Next time, they might say Kirwa is part of the Ford Foundation, which I am not.
With Richard Mwenja.
With Richard Mwenja. So be careful. Yeah. As you interview me,
I should be watching over my shoulder.
Yeah.
On these streets.
Oh, yeah. When they see you with a nice tie like this, and say, this is Ford.
Ford Foundation.
Foundation.
Is dressing Richard.
Yeah.
To hit on the government.
Yeah.
Very lastly, Kipruto Arab Kirwa. Then, so do you foresee a situation whereby the president and his government are likely going to run into... They're not going to have more excuses to churn out to the public. Do you see them running out of excuses in the near future?
I see a number of scenarios. One, I still recommend to him, let the hand of Raila not be seen in the new cabinet that is going to appoint. Even if Raila was to recommend anybody, there are enough Luos who are friends to the president. There are enough ODM supporters who are friendly to the president. What he should do is to form his cabinet. Because the moment Raila is seen, then the entire opposition thinking will go to GNC. And because GNC, they say, is leaderless with that formation that they have and the network of communication, they might run the president out of town. That is my worry. Raila is still useful outside government. He will assist people to feel that something has been said to the government, and therefore let us wait and see what the government will do. The moment the president is left naked, facing the GNCs, he's going to be run out of town. I'm telling you.
So that day for the monkey to find all trees slippery will be coming sooner than later?
It's my prayer that it comes 2027. But I fear it may come sooner than later.
The monkey is already destined to die.
Yeah, I can see the trees are slippery.
Well, at this point, allow me to cross over to our new segment. Very insightful, rich of nuggets of wisdom, and our segment that takes us down memory lane. That is Heroes Corner with Ruto.
National, and I will start with Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere, born in April 1922 to a family of the chief who had 26 wives and a number of children. He went to Makerere. After Makerere, he came back, started teaching. That's why they called him Mwalimu eventually. Later on, he went to London, and he came back with honorary MA in philosophy, English, and history. He was the president of Tanganyika. Subsequently, he became the president of Tanzania when Tanganyika merged with Zanzibar. Mwalimu Nyerere demonstrated indeed that he was a simple individual who believed in the basics of humanity, and he ruled Tanzania up to the time he retired in 1985. He died a few years later, and he was buried back in his village, Butiama. Nyerere, by example, was able to demonstrate that leadership is a privilege to serve. It's not just a chance to earn and amass wealth. Today, the only property that we know in terms of land is 52 acres, which is family land, that Nyerere's body is laid to rest, and also his own father and many other relatives of his. Today in Kenya, anybody who has been president is likely to have more than 100,000 acres or 10,000 acres at that particular time. Now that is my hero. My second hero is Masinde Muliro, born the same year 1922 in Bungoma County today. He was the MP for Kitale East. Subsequently, he became Minister for Roads, and during the JM report, he voted against the government and he was sacked. He retained the seat, and later on, he became the MP for Cherangany constituency, which constituency I was also privileged to serve for 20 years. My third hero is our own Philomena Chelagan Mutai, born 1950 in Nandi County, and she became the Member of Parliament at the age of 24. And she was the first female Member of Parliament from my community, and she served 2 terms in Parliament. And one of the terms was interrupted because of what they were calling incitement to violence, or people were agitating to be given their parcels of land in the current Ziwa region of what they call now Soy constituency. Later on, out of accusations again, a second term was interrupted because they said she had made false mileage claims. And it was because of political agitation that she was involved by asking the government of the day to do what is right. I interacted with her after she left Parliament, and something that she told me is that please don't leave Kanu at this particular time, because the Kalenjin community believe Kanu is Moi and Moi is Kanu. Wait when President Moi exceeds the scene, then you can think of other political formations. I took her word seriously, and I left Kanu on the eve of 2002 elections because I knew President Moi was on his way to retirement. And I thank God her advice was useful to me. Those are my 3 heroes for this particular week.
That has been Heroes Corner with Kipruto Arab Kirwa. Do stay glued for more subsequent editions whereby you'll get to understand the personalities that have made really huge impacts in this country and in this continent. So don't switch off from this particular channel. My name is Richard Mwenjo. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Kipruto Arab Kirwa, thank you for honoring my invite.
Thank you so much. It's always my pleasure.
Asante sana. Well, enjoy the rest of your viewing.